Okay. It is 6:16. We are going to reconvene into open session. Mr. Rutherford, we begin with the reports, please.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Up on the screen, I have important dates coming up for the next couple weeks. Please keep in mind that we have the WCMICSIC, the Wise County Mayors Coalition Steering Committee meeting here at Paradise City Hall this Wednesday, so the day after tomorrow at
5:30.
5:30. We have posted a notice of possible quorum so that anyone on the Paradise City Council who wants to attend and come see what the mayor's been up to, advocating for the city with the WCMICSIC, can come in and do that. We also have the strategic planning session this Friday, beginning at 9 o'clock. We're expecting it to go until about 4. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all here for that as well. And then the day after that is the 19th Annual Main Street Festival. So it's been a busy week and will continue to be. Columbus Day coming up on the 13th, and then the regular council meeting on the 27th. Getting into our election dates, it's the same as our last meeting. We're done with all the applications, with all the opportunities to withdraw have passed, and so all we're doing now is waiting for early voting to commence on October 20th. Election day is on the 4th. Unless we need some sort of runoff, we should expect to have the canvass on November 10th and the swearing in on not the 24th, but the 18th. Pardon me.
17th. But yeah, around there.
You're right, the 17th. Do I have any questions about those dates? Okay, getting into the announcements and so on that we have on the agenda. There are 4 items that I have tonight. The first one is the introduction of our new municipal sheriff's deputy, Deputy Ian Ham, and then we'll talk about the city strategic plan, the Resilient Communities Program grant, and the West Fork Public Utility Agency. Ian, can I invite you up, please?
Yes, sir.
Captain Taylor, if you'd like to as well. Over the past several months, we've been talking about our interlocal agreement with Wise County Sheriff's Department in order to improve our resident deputy participation. We have an interlocal agreement with the Sheriff's Department where they hired a deputy specifically to be in our community, but all we do is pay the salary. And so we don't pay for the vehicle or the equipment or the training time or the evidence room or the insurance or any of that stuff. What we do is we provide the salary. We're participating in that with New Fairview, so we're splitting Deputy Ham between Paradise and the city of New Fairview. We get 20 hours a week, they get 20 hours a week. Deputy Ham has already been in the community for about a week, has already been bringing in some pretty good data and letting us know the things that are going on in the community. And so I would like to turn it over to him and let him make his introduction.
Good evening. My name's Ian Ham. I've been with the Sheriff's Office for about a month and a half, coming on 2 months. I have about 22 to 24 years of law enforcement experience. Began in Nevada, and I worked in the Las Vegas area for a small municipality in Clark County, Nevada. I'm here so that the city residents can feel more at ease, safer in the environment that we currently are in. Even though I'm here part-time, my response times when I'm here will be much quicker than waiting for a deputy coming from Bridgeport or from Chico or from somewhere else in the county. And I'm just happy to be here. So,
Don't have any questions?
We appreciate you.
thank you. My plan, Mayor and Council, is, and I've talked this over with my sergeant and Captain Taylor, is that when I'm on duty and I'm in town, I will be here in the mornings, mostly up until about noonish, and then from noon I'll go to New Fairview. And I've already met with the two school resource officers, gotten walk around to the campuses, and that's how I figured I would best serve Paradise is during those early school hours, at least until around lunch. So, giving everybody
Throw some evenings in there sometimes, you know, people just come speeding through town in the evenings because they know you're not here.
Yeah, I'm sitting on Main, I'm sitting on Main
People
Street
on
and
their toes, right?
I'm telling the parents, especially the parents are the ones who bring their kids to school and they're late, and you know that the first couple times it'll be a warning, and then after that it's progressive. So, but if there's any concerns, obviously, you know, you can call 911, call the sheriff's office. If I'm here, obviously I'll be dispatched to your house or your business. So,
All right, very cool.
perfect.
Questions?
We can do anything for you, please call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
So we've already noticed a marked change in the traffic that we see in the city. I have a record of the citations that have been handed out. Like I said last week, we've had a couple instances of people going in the high 40s in a 20-mile-per-hour school zone. That sort of thing is already starting to wind down, which is exactly the sort of thing that you want to see to keep people safe. When I take my walk around the city or when I'm driving around looking at things, I'm always seeing Deputy Ham around, and I've waved him down and said, "Hey, have you seen this, or is there anything I need to be aware of?" He's been very responsive, and so we're extremely happy to have you in the community. And,
Thank you.
I'm sure if you ever need any support from us, anything that we can provide for you, please let us know.
Will do, sir.
All right.
Absolutely. Thank you. Hey,
Thanks
be
so much.
safe out there, both y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate your
Nice
time.
meeting everybody.
Yeah.
Sir. Thank you, sir. And ma'am, it was good to meet you.
Nice to meet you all. Nice to meet you. Have a good evening.
Are there any questions regarding our new deputy? If not, I'll continue. Getting into the city strategic plan. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over the strategic plan that the council approved about a year and a half ago. I'm going to talk through how this strategic plan has shaped the things that the city's done in the last year and a half. And I'm going to talk about what is going to happen this Friday when we meet up to have our strategic planning session. Okay, and so there are two ways that the administration and the council communicate with each other. The whole point of the administration is to bring into reality the policies that the council directs. And so the council tells the admin what to do. The admin does their best to transform it into reality. We communicate with each other in two ways, verbally and written. We communicate verbally on a fairly constant basis. You know, I see you, we correspond in emails and phone calls and text messages, or we correspond face-to-face the way we're doing right now. But there are also written communications. I communicate to y'all primarily in two ways when it comes to written communications. The first one is the budget, and the second one are the memoranda that are in the council packet that's published before each meeting. That's where you can look and see on paper, this is what Williford's doing. Okay? If you have any questions about what Williford's plans are, they're there in those documents written down for the whole world to see. But that's me communicating with you. How do y'all communicate with me? Well, y'all communicate with me through a whole bunch of different methods, through the plans that y'all approve, through the messages that y'all send me privately. But the big overarching way that the council communicates with me is through the city strategic plan. This is where the council gets together and says, Williford, this is what's important to me. Make this happen. And so when I came on in June, July of 24, the city did not have a strategic plan, and so the council at that time put one together for me because I had requested one. It outlines the city's vision. Where do we see the city going? Its mission. What is it that we do to achieve our vision? And the goals and strategies, which are the individual details about how we get where we want to go. I'm going to go through each of the things, each of the aspects of the strategic plan that we currently have. This is what I am operating on. This is what I'm using on a day-to-day to make sure that what I do administratively aligns with what the council wants to see. And so the vision for Paradise that was given to me was Paradise is a distinctive hometown that respects and preserves its rural character while welcoming promising opportunities. And so the key facets of those that ring in my ears are hometown, families have to live here, rural character, not an urban character, while welcoming promising opportunities. So there are opportunities that should be taken advantage of in the future. That is what I received from that vision. Its mission is to deliver exceptional quality of life through responsive, effective, and affordable core services. We focus on affordable. The city has maintained its low property tax rate of 34.5 cents for 6 years in a row. And we have a very small tax base. Our tax base is small. And so the services that we deliver are fairly impressive for the amount of revenues that we bring in. That's the mission that I'm working on, that I'm working through on the day-to-day. We've taken this vision and this mission and we split it up into various goals and strategies. And I'm going to walk through each of these right now. The first one was to protect the public. How are we going to protect the public? Okay. The council has communicated to me, protecting the public is important. Williford, what are you going to do to get us in a place where we can protect the public? Well, we're going to promote police presence in the community. We're going to collaborate with fire and EMS. We're going to engage with the community to ensure trust. We're going to ensure safe community standards and processes. And so I'm on the other side of this document, and I have to wonder to myself, okay, how are we going to promote police presence in the community? What does Williford need to do to make that happen? What does Williford need to do to collaborate with fire and EMS, to engage with the community to ensure trust, to ensure safe community standards and processes? And here are the things that I have brought to the council that the council has approved in order to achieve these goals. Promoting police presence in the community. We had no court, essentially, a year ago, and we had zero police coverage a year ago. In the past year and a half, the council has approved an interlocal agreement with New Fairview to stand up a brand new municipal court at New Fairview, which is already up and running and producing closure on these tickets that we've been issuing. Night and day difference from before. We went from 0 hours a week of police presence to now we have 21 hours a week of police presence. The goal is never to go around issuing tickets, but I have the data on the tickets that have been issued about the places where people are speeding, and the amount that they're speeding, especially in school zones, is pretty dangerous. And that's been addressed and is continuing to be addressed. Collaborating with fire and EMS departments, we've continued to collaborate. We have an excellent relationship with Wise County ESD number 3, and that's continuing to go very well. Engaging with the community to ensure trust. We have invested in this AV system that allows us to take the videos, post the videos online so that people who can't be here in person can watch the meetings afterwards, and also invested in our social media apparatus to help us spread the word about the things that are going on within Paradise. Are these things perfect? Not yet. It's still a work in progress, but it's night and day from where it was before. And when it comes to ensuring safe community standards and processes, I and the city secretary and our permits clerk have worked very hard at establishing updated and streamlined permitting processes to make sure that people who build in Paradise build safely, people who hold events in Paradise do it in a safe manner, and so on. And so when the council says protect the public this way, these are the steps that are taken on the administrative side in order to bring that vision into reality. Ensure fiscal sustainability, sustain low property tax rate. We continue to sustain a property tax rate. We approved that just at our last meeting. Manage our long-term financial plan. In the past couple of months, for the first time, the City of Paradise has sought and selected a financial advisor. We have a financial advisor now who we can consult on long-term financial decisions, including debt issuances, and we have spoken with Mr. Drew Whittington, who was here not last meeting, but the one before. Creating sustainable service plans. A big topic of discussion is water, the possibility of wastewater, the maintenance of the roads, the maintenance of street signs, sidewalks, alleyways, and so on. In these areas where previously things were handled ad hoc on a day-by-day basis, In a lot of those areas, plans have been made, have been presented for approval. A large portion of that was passed in this most recent budget. And project future staffing, facilities, and resources. In the past year, we found ourselves in a situation where we unexpectedly needed to hire an employee. That has been done, and all the expenses connected to that employee, our utilities clerk, have been successfully transitioned into the utility fund, the water and wastewater fund. And so when the council says ensure fiscal sustainability, these are the actions that were taken on the administrative side to make sure that that was completed correctly. Invest in infrastructure. Infrastructure is expensive. There is no type of infrastructure that is not expensive. We have infrastructure within our city that needs maintenance. We have a water tower that needs to be recoated. We have roads that need to be recoated and filled in. We have water mains that are still relatively new, but one got ran over by Atmos recently and needed a new cap put on it. And we have the possibility of future expansion of our infrastructure. And so all of those things require money. All of those things require significant decisions. And so a lot of work has gone into obtaining the funding necessary to make that happen. For example, the USDA grant that we applied for, it was denied, and the loan was offered in its place. That's a decision that the council still has to make, but at least there's the option to go in that direction if that's the direction that the city council decides to go. We just had a grant approved for the Resilient Communities Program, which is a $300,000 planning grant to allow us to plan for needed infrastructure, such as a master thoroughfare plan, master transit plan, master water distribution plan, and all the things that we need in order to anticipate future costs. Within the Wise County Mayors Coalition, the mayor and I have both been extremely active in lining up ways for other people to pay for water and possibly wastewater infrastructure expansion. And we have purchased numerous new softwares and are looking at purchasing significant new equipment in order to keep those services moving correctly. Coming into promoting economic vitality, the council charged the administration to diversify sources of revenue and target business development through economic incentives. Why do we want to see business development? The reason that we want to see business development is so that more taxes are paid by businesses and not by homeowners. And so right now, we're very, very heavy on homeowners. You want to see 33% businesses. Really, you want to see a 60-40 split between taxes paid by residents and businesses. The more businesses you have in a community, the less tax burden is on the homeowner. We have a lot of challenges when it comes to promoting economic vitality because we lack the infrastructure needed to attract the businesses to shift the tax burden. And so a lot of work has been done but remains to be done when it comes to promoting economic vitality within the city of Paradise. The next goal that was given to me was to plan intentionally and responsibly. Attract and retain quality staff to match growth. In order to attract and retain quality staff, you have to offer competitive pay and benefits. Over the past year, y'all have done an amazing job in bringing competitive benefits to the employees within Paradise. In this last budget, y'all approved a 5% pay raise, which exceeds the cost of living. The cost of living is the change. The inflation rate is about 3%. We had a pay adjustment of 5%, and y'all brought the short-term, long-term disability, life insurance, dental, vision, and retirement benefit to the employees over this past year. Now, we are still a little less competitive than our peers because our cities around us are still paying a little bit more than we are, and they offer health insurance, which we have not yet been able to offer. However, we've gone a long way towards attracting and retaining quality staff who are going to be able to provide the services that residents expect. Paying more for one employee is cheaper than paying less for two less capable employees. Okay? Identify and plan for changes in codes and zoning. Hey, that's been controversial. Zoning is controversial in every city, and this is a democratic process. And so there's going to be split opinions and differences, and that is a process that has to be worked through in every city. Embrace and adapt to state legislative actions. We've seen in this legislature, in all the special legislative sessions that have followed this state legislature, that the state is throwing us some curveballs because they have political priorities that are not automatically aligned with ours. But we are subordinate to the state. We will adapt, and we have adapted and will continue to adapt to any new policies that the state presents to us. And review and revise city plans as needed. As I mentioned earlier, with this RCP grant, this $300,000 planning grant that we've just been allocated for, we're going to have a set of new and exciting plans very soon. In fact, fiscal year 26 is shaping up to be the year of planning. And it's going to be an exciting year to see how the residents participate in that process and what direction the council decides to go. And if we can land united on a common vision of what we want to see the city of Paradise achieve. Put all of those together on one sheet, and that's what this is. This is what I've been working from for the past year and a half. When I think to myself, should I go this direction or should I go that direction with a policy of the city, I turn around, I look over my shoulder at this sheet, which is on a magnet on my whiteboard behind my desk. And I think about what the council would want, and that's what I do. Now, at our meeting on Friday, we're making a new one of these. We're going to emerge on Friday with a different set of goals and a different set of strategies. Every year or 2 years or 3 years, the city council will get together again to have a strategic planning retreat and say, hey, these things are still important, but these things have fallen off. They need to be replaced with new priorities. Or, hey, before this was priority number 5, now it needs to be shifted up to priority number 2. And that's what we're going to be doing on Friday. It is an open meeting. The agenda for that meeting has already been posted. And I personally am very excited to hear from the council the direction that y'all are going to tell me to go in the coming months and years. Do I have any questions about the city's strategic plan? Okay, thank you. Getting into the Resilient Communities Program grant. A year ago, a group called Public Management, which is a consulting group that assists with grant applications, they came to us and told us, hey, we've looked at your city and we think that y'all are competitive for this grant. If y'all will give us the thumbs up, we'll apply on your behalf. And y'all approved, the council approved that grant application from 12 August 2024 through the end of August 2025. They swept that water on our behalf. And just this month, we've received confirmation that we've received a contract with the Texas Government Land Office for receipt of those funds. And so I had here that Dalton Aiken was going to be briefing us, but we have a better alternative, right?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I'm sorry.
Caitlin Higgins.
Caitlin Higgins is here, and she is going to give us an update on what's going on. Do you need to plug in your
Oh,
laptop?
no, sir. I just, in case anybody has any notes, I like to be prepared. So hello, everybody. My name is Caitlin Higgins. I know I've been here a couple times, both with Dalton and with Jake McAdams on other grants for y'all through public management. Today I'm here as Chance described for the RCP planning grant. We are, only 12 days into this thing, but we're excited and we're ready to get the ground rolling here. I kind of want to just explain to y'all what y'all's purpose is going to be in part of this grant, what y'all should be looking forward to, what's coming up, all those big things. I always tell our cities at this first meeting, be prepared to hate my face in about a year from now, because you're going to get tired of me being at every single meeting, but I promise it's out of love. We will be working on a lot of things. So as you look at the sheet that you have in front of you, I have all the plan elements. So these are all of the items that Public Management included in our contract when we submitted to the General Land Office for this funding. So as Chance mentioned, this is a $300,000 grant with no match, and we will be covering the following elements: the community profile, which would be your demographics, population, all that type of information, housing, land use and zoning, infrastructure, parks and recreation, economic development, hazard mitigation, and transportation. So under infrastructure, that includes water, sewer, and drainage for the city. Even though that y'all do not currently have a sewer set up, in that standing, we typically go ahead and plan for what the city would need to do, what they would need to expect over the coming years to possibly go towards having a sewer system if that was the city's goal within the timeline of this plan that we end up adopting. I think it's important to note that to be able, y'all have been awarded this money, but to be able to receive it and not have to give it back, there are only two qualifications for the city to do. You have to adopt the comprehensive plan, and you have to adopt zoning, some sort of zoning. I say that very lightly. Depending on the city we work with, it can look really, cookie cutter, box simple, dry, not very restrictive. On the other way, it could be very restrictive entirely, or it could be very restrictive towards massive developers coming in. We can cookie cutter all the way to extremely customized, whatever the city wants to do on that front, because every city is different. And in Texas right now, having protections in place against massive developers will help y'all in the long run, especially after this last legislative session. So I wanted to, inform y'all of the sections of the plan. Also, when we're looking at timeline, so just so y'all know, this was signed on September 9th of 2025. This is a 36-month grant. 30 of those months are dedicated towards planning only, and the last 6 are dedicated towards project closeout. So that's, once again, we on the background handling all the communications with the GLO to get this thing finalized and pushed through. Those 30 months, however, at Public Management, we don't view as 30 months. We more try to get these plans done in a timeline of 18 to 24. Of course, that is conditional depending on the city's approach, how y'all would like to handle that. Also on the public's pushback on certain items once it comes towards adoption as well. We just prefer to go the 18 to 24 route. It makes it to where we're not pushing this thing out a very long time. Also make sure that we're giving everybody the time to give their feedback, and if anything was to happen, we give ourselves a buffer at the end so we're not pushing up against that 36-month timeline. Looking more towards what's coming up, in these coming months, we will be having some of our assistant planners come out soon and do what we call field work. We are a very boots on the ground type of company, and so we come out, we drive every single street in town, we mark every single parcel, we mark if it is single family, whatever land use it is, commercial, ag, all that type of stuff. We mark every single house, if it's in standard condition, dilapidated. We mark if it's a single family, multifamily, all those fun details, fun analytics and stuff like that. That takes us particularly 1 to 2 days, depending on the weather and the city's aspect and climate as a whole. And we plan on doing that in between September and October. We're quite busy these next coming months, but we're going to get somebody out here to get that done as soon as possible. Before we do that, we will try to send a notice to the city secretary to be like, hey, we're going to be here on this day, so people aren't just randomly calling. Yeah, we try to avoid that as much as possible. That way y'all don't get a million phone calls. However, sometimes it doesn't always happen. And then during this time, we will also launch what we call the community survey. So this will go out. I will work with y'all selves, with Chance, on putting together a community survey that will go out to the public, and we typically keep that open for a good amount of time to allow everybody to respond, give their feedback. That can also look however y'all want it to look as well. It is up to y'all. There's a few questions that we recommend including because on our side it helps us plan, but there's also, it's open to whatever y'all are wanting to ask of the residents and get their feedback on. Additionally, I wanted to go into, some of the requirements past these coming months. So I've discussed, this community survey, I've discussed the field work. There's also going to be 3 town halls that have to be had during this planning process. So those 3 town halls fall at the preliminary findings mark, the 50% mark, /75% mark, and then the 100% mark. So your first one will be once we've kind of been able to do all that field work, bring all the data in together, look at it, and give a really kind of eagle eye view on what we see, what's currently here. That second town hall will be the 50% to 75% development. So that'll be, we've started on some analysis. It won't necessarily be complete analysis at that point, but it'll be a direction. At that town hall, we will be asking the public, are you happy with the direction that this plan is going and the way it is headed? And then post that, we'll have the 100% plan in which we will present that version to the public, ask if they're happy with it, make sure y'all are happy with it, and then we would go into the adoption process, which then has all the rules and regulations of adoption that we will walk y'all through. Throughout no process of this are we gonna say, y'all are high and dry, figure this out. We will walk you through every single step. We will provide y'all with public hearing notices, all that kind of stuff, and we'll be at every single meeting that y'all need us at. And then lastly, to kind of wrap all this up, y'all's role in all this, I already told y'all would hate my face by the end of this, but y'all are gonna be the guiding force behind this entire plan. The same way y'all are with the strategic plan that y'all are actively working on. Take that, but instead of for 2 to 3 years, times like 10 to 20 years. So we make you put your vision caps on. We kind of let you daydream for about the first third of the plan. We don't really make y'all think in reality for a little bit. And then once we get to reality, then we kind of, start trimming some fat back and discuss what's actually going to be capable for the city. But y'all will also be the spears headers of this plan. So we look at y'all to inform the public. Of course, we're not here every day. We're not residents. So inform the public of what's going on, make sure that they're active in this planning process, doing the community survey, showing up to town halls, informing them of what this is going to mean for the community, and then pushing them towards us if there's any questions that y'all are not able to answer. But every single plan that we work on at Public Management as planners is only as good as the people that are behind it, and that's what keeps it from sitting on a shelf. It hurts our hearts back at Public Management, our planning department, because almost every single comp plan that we've ever worked with the city on, we've walked into these projects and they go, yeah, we have one. It's back here on a shelf somewhere. And that hurts our hearts because, the amount of money that goes into these things, the amount of time that it's taken y'all to write this, we want to make sure that at the end of the day, it is something that actually gets used and worked through and is as good as the other people that put in all the effort into it. With that being said, there will also be an implementation plan at the end of this whole thing in which we'll tell y'all who needs to be in charge of this project, kind of a timeline of when it needs to be done, funding resources, all that kind of stuff to try to help y'all guide that way as much as possible. And then the unique thing about y'all choosing us as y'all's grant administrator and planner for this project versus some of our competitors is that we are a grant administrator. That is our number one bread and butter. That's what we do. Planning is kind of our other thing that we started doing about a decade ago. And so every single part of this plan, we relate back to Texas Water Development Board, to CD grants, to the GLO, to TDA, and all of our knowledge that we have with those resources and those funding avenues to make sure whenever we put projects in this plan, they're projects that could easily be picked out and be submitted for a grant application in the future. And then on the other side of that, we also turn around in this grant, this comp plan, when we're done, it leaves the planning office, but we hand it to one of our project managers. Strategically, I think y'all have had Jake McAdams working here in the past, so we'll pretty much hand it to him. It gets to sit on his shelf. And every single time a grant period comes up, he's in charge of looking through y'all's plan and making sure to reach out to y'all if y'all end up scoring well for something. So that's kind of what we do. We like our clients. We try to make sure that once the planning team walks away, we give y'all some help to implement this and keep it from sitting on a shelf. So I thank y'all for y'all's time tonight, for letting me come out here and talk to y'all. And I'm available for any questions that y'all might have. I know this is a big process that we're about to start, so.
I appreciate it. Do y'all have any questions? All right. Comp plans are very important.
Well, perfect. Well, thank y'all so much for letting me come out tonight. Y'all have a
Thank
wonderful
you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Let's get with her on the survey questions, see if we can't just, since we already got one in the works.
I'm working on a community survey.
Perfect.
Can you,
And link up.
We will get an email going. Yes, of course. We will get that going.
like tomorrow?
Like tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah, because we wanted to get the survey started like Saturday's Main Street Festival.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna start gathering information. A lot of it already has some demographics. So if there are specifics, if you could send that out to him
I'll
tomorrow,
send you an email or call you.
Sir. Yeah, feel free to call me tomorrow. I'll be in
it'd
the
be great.
office.
So we can start getting that information.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all so much.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, moving on.
Moving on.
Okay, this brief is about the West Fork Public Utility Agency. Okay, so the Wise County Mayors Coalition is working to put together the West Fork Public Utility Agency. What is that? Okay. A public utility agency is a special purpose entity. It's like an overlay. It's an entity that exists on top of the county or the city or the different SUDs. It can incorporate multiple entities within that one entity. It's created under Chapter 572 of the Texas Local Government Code in order to allow groups of people from different organizations to collaborate on infrastructure. And so, conceptually, if City A and City B want to build a water treatment plant, but they can't afford it individually, what they can do is, at the same time, they can commit to forming a public utility agency, and that agency will build the plant on their behalf. That's a watered-down version of what a public utility agency is. It's run by a board of directors, and so if you have a group of cities who get together to create a public utility agency, each of those cities gets to appoint a member to serve as a member of that board. A public utility agency cannot issue taxes. The way that public utility agencies get funded is they issue what are called revenue bonds. They're bonds that are repaid by revenues from a service that the group provides. And so a PUA can issue revenue bonds based upon the number of customers that they have. They have to be able to pay off their debt based on the number of connections that they have. Now, the Wise County Mayor's Coalition has been working, as long as I've been here, on trying to put together a group to look at water infrastructure for the entire county. So it's not just New Fairview looking at it on their own. It's not just Boyd looking at it on their own. It's not just Decatur looking at it on their own. It's not even the county. It's not even Walnut Creek looking at it on their own. They're trying to incorporate everybody. And so over the past year and year and some months, the Wise County Mayor's Coalition has been working hard to get everybody lined up to participate in this group. Right now, these are the participants that have expressed that they intend to participate in this PUA. Alvord, Aurora, Boyd, Bridgeport, Decatur, Newark, New Fairview, us, Rome, Walnut Creek Sud, Rolling V, New Fairview Mud, and West Wise Sud. Practically everybody in the southern half of Wise County is lined up to participate in this PUA. What's the goal of the PUA? To work over the next, several decades to build out the infrastructure that Wise County needs in order to not run out of groundwater. We have so many people moving to Wise County and so many new people, large developments sticking wells in the ground, that there's a real risk that the county will just simply run out of groundwater. In order to get ahead of that problem, that's what the PUA is for.
The county itself is involved.
Yes, that is true. And so the Wise County Mayor's Coalition has got all the paperwork put together, all the ordinances, all the notices, all lined up, reviewed by their own lawyers in order to get this PUA off the ground. But at first, the PUA isn't going to be making any money because it's not going to have any customers. You have to create the PUA first, and then it needs a couple years to get its admin worked out, to get its lawyer and its planner and all of its infrastructure consultants and everything that a big agency needs to create water infrastructure for the entire county. And so in order to get this PUA off the ground, each participating city would have to commit to contribute some amount of money each year. Now, it's a different amount of money for each participant. For the city of Paradise, it would be about $5,700 annually. For Walnut Creek Sud, they're contributing more like $80,000 annually. The city of Decatur is contributing more like $40,000 annually. And so I just say that so that you know that $5,700 annual contribution does take into account the fact that we are much smaller by territory and by population than most of the other contributing cities. Now that's $5,700 a year, year over year, until the PUA starts to bring in enough money to sustain itself. But when the PUA does stand up and does have customers, we will have a credit equal to the amount of money that we contributed. So if we contribute this $5,700, let's call it $6,000 for 4 years. At the end of that 4 years, when the PUA has revenue coming in, we would have a $24,000 credit with the PUA, either to be paid back in cash or through services. And so this is seed money to get off the ground, but it's not money that's lost forever. This is money that the city would get back in time. So we would have that cost of participation up front to participate, but if we elected to join, we would have our own representative on the PUA board. So that when the PUA is talking about, hey, where do we want to put the water plant? Hey, where do the pipes need to go first? Hey, how much money is going to get spent on this project instead of that project? Y'all would have a person on their board to vote in your favor, on your behalf. If we don't participate in the PUA, then we would not have a person on the board, and they would not listen to anything that we had to say. As well as the natural infrastructure benefits that come just from having a successful PUA within Wise County. And so this is not on the agenda today. This is an advance notice that this is an item that will be on the agenda for the October meeting. At the October meeting, there will have to be a vote on whether or not the council wants to participate in this countywide effort to form the PUA. If y'all have any questions about this process before then, please reach out to me. And I will continue to forward out information over the next month as we lead up to this vote.
Is this an alternative to that water coalition that we have
Yes, sir.
at the district?
Yes, sir.
So those of you who are coming on Wednesday, there'll be a lot of information, and obviously it's
Okay.
the bulk of what we talk about.
That's an excellent point, Mayor. I heavily encourage all members of the council to attend Wednesday, to come Wednesday at 5:30, eat some hamburgers, and hear about the latest news when it comes to this PUA. It has taken a lot of work to get to this point, and it's pretty impressive.
Is
So
there any way it could be knocked down like the last one was?
all indicators say no. We haven't had any fancy lobbyist or lawyer come out of the woodwork for this effort.
Okay.
Everything is looking as though it's going to go through smoothly, and we'll know the answer in the next 5 weeks. This vote is going to happen in October all across the county.
Okay. So
And-
it's up to the people, not the legislature?
That's right.
Okay.
Cities,
The individual councils.
Right. there is no participation of the state legislature in this form of agency. And so once again, please feel welcome to come on Wednesday. I really strongly encourage it. And this is an item that will be up for vote on the October agenda.
All right,
Are there any questions about this topic?
you good?
Where are we coming up here?
Yes, sir.
Wednesday?
Yeah, here?
Yeah, Wednesday's here, 5:30. From the Mayor's Coalition, y'all can see all the mayors, and it's a big crowd that gets there. It's not just the mayors, but all the engineering firms and representatives from Walnut Creek and Westwise and everybody who's been involved in this effort from more than the last year.
We often have state and federal congressional representation.
So, it's a big deal.
5:30. 5:30.
Yes, sir.
5:30 on Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay,
Any other questions?
I think so.
Okay. Ma'am, moving on to citizen communications.
Citizens communication, do we have anybody signed up for citizen communication? I didn't see any cards. Anybody sign up? This is the time, everybody. It's not, the floor is not gonna be opened after this.
Agenda coming forward, or is this a time to talk?
This is the time to talk. This is the time for the citizen communication. So. The floor will not be open when we get past this time. Okay,
There's your cards.
all right. Oh, thanks.
Go ahead.
All right, Mr. Salerno, you're on top.
You're on top. All right. Let me hand out some goodies again, if you don't mind. And just, Mayor, I'll make sure I give you yours first this time.
Ah, yeah, appreciate it. Remember, we have 3 minutes. Give me 2.
Well, this is good. Better than nothing, made up the last time.
All righty. And.
All right. Okay, so I gave you some information. Last week, I stood before this council and presented clear facts showing that the annexation of Windmill Ridge Estates was not completed within the required timeline and was riddled with procedural errors. Errors so substantial that they rendered the annexation void. Because of this, Windmill Ridge Estate is not legally annexed into the city of Paradise. Accordingly, there cannot and should not be a vote tonight on the rezoning of this property. Any such vote would be illegal, subject to court challenges. It would needlessly burden the taxpayers of Paradise with avoidable legal costs. It would also create further confusion and distrust among the citizens. If the council does proceed with a vote tonight, the only proper and lawful action would be a procedural vote of no, based on the undisputed facts that the city has no legal standing to rezone this property or collect taxes from its residents. I'm not going to review the clear facts I presented last week. You have them in a timeline, and you had them last week. However, there are 2 things I want to share with you. The first is the revised maps. Those revised maps of the council were submitted to the county over a year after the annex was approved on September 28, 2020. The development agreement, which must be offered and signed before an annexation can be approved by the council, was not completed until August 5th of 2021, nearly a year after the council approved the annexation. And that development agreement was not sent or filed with the county, according to section 43.016. This alone voids the annexation. Taking these facts, leave no doubt that the annexation of Windmill Ridge Estates is void. Now, some members of this council have expressed a sincere desire to rebuild trust with the citizens of Paradise and to move forward beyond the dysfunction of past councils. I recognize that in 2020, there may have been an intent to approve a voluntary annexation, but intent is not compliance, and intent does not cure missed deadlines or procedural violations. This situation is not necessarily the fault of some of the members of this current council, but you now bear the responsibility and the opportunity to correct it. Any reasonable citizen and any reasonable judge can see that the annexation is invalid. This is the moment to show leadership. This is the moment to demonstrate that Paradise has turned a corner, that this council will insist that agreements and contracts be handled transparently, lawfully, and in a timely manner. If you truly want to move forward to restore public trust and to set the city on a new path of accountability, tonight is your night to do it. So do the right thing. Do the lawful choice. Protect the taxpayers, protect the city, and protect your own credibility as leaders. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. All right, next up, Shannon Hickman. And once again, 3 minutes.
I'm Shannon Hickman. I also have spoken to y'all the last couple meetings. We, the homeowners of Windmill Ridge, bought our homes with the understanding that we would not be paying city taxes. This is not just the builder's fault, which is partially the builder's fault, but the simple fact of the matter is they were not paying city taxes. So they were saying, we don't pay city taxes. So, you know, any reasonable person would think if the builder's not paying city taxes, the buyers aren't going to be paying city taxes either. To the point of a lot of the homeowners in Windmill Ridge have not paid city taxes up to this point. Y'all are about to vote on whether you rezone it or not. Simple fact is, we have never, in Windmill, they have never paid city taxes. We were sold our houses with the understanding that we would not be paying city taxes. When it comes right down to it, the residents of Windmill Ridge do not want to be part of the city of Paradise. We don't want it. We have 25 households, 26 of the lots in Windmill Ridge have signed on and saying they do not want to be part of the city of Paradise. With that, y'all have said that y'all want to build trust within the city. Y'all want to build trust in the citizens. Do you really want 50 more people who really don't want to be part of Paradise as citizens of Paradise? How many people have you seen in city council meetings over the past year? I'll guarantee you the crowd has grown a lot in the last 3 months. And we're just the people that have the time and the ability to show up at 6 o'clock. We show up every month because we don't want to be part of the city. When it comes right down to it, we were told we would not be paying city taxes, and we don't want to be part of the city. So when you go to vote tonight, I want you to think about it. Do you want 50 more votes against the city? Because that's what it's going to be if you annex us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hickman. Okay, next up, look, right there on time. Mr. Meltzer.
First of all, let me thank y'all for the work you do. Appreciate it. It's not hard, it's not easy, and it's usually not recognized. And I'm very interested in your presentation on the strategy. Very interested. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. I think you heard all the facts you need to hear, whether you believe them or not, whether you like them or not, isn't really relevant. If I were in your shoes, I wouldn't be voting on this right now. I would be damn sure that I knew that all the things you think you did that made the annexation real actually are real. Because if they're not, Frank's right. Frank's right. I've been to court. I've been to federal court in New York. I was innocent. I didn't get convicted. It wasn't a criminal case. It's not a pleasant experience. It's not an inexpensive experience. And 9 times out of 10, you settle. You don't get everything you want. So, my recommendation, work with the people in Windmill Ridge to find a way to make this work for both. If you can't, we are going to go to court. If you can't, we are going to find ways to challenge the annexation. If you can't, we are going to find ways to make sure that if the annexation is challengeable, that water continues to be supplied to the residents, regardless of what legal entity claims the pipes in the ground and the land that's taxed. We've invested in this city by buying property around and by improving on that property around 500,000 times 50 is $25 million. That's more than the city's budget. That's more than the money you've got put aside, which you have a lot. Congratulations, you have a lot. From people like me, that's a significant amount. For some people, that's everything. Don't mess with mama. Don't mess with everything that some people have. And some people don't have that. Some people are in debt up to their eyeballs. They were told something, whether it was right or wrong, it was what they were told. And part of that is because of a lack of prompt behavior on the part of the city.
And Mr. Meltzer, I'm gonna ask you to close out.
So thank you all. You do nice work. Do the right thing.
Thank you, Mr. Meltzer. All right, any others for citizen communication? Jennifer Hickman, yes?
Jennifer Hickman, thank you for 3 minutes. I just want to remind everyone that when we closed on our house in Windmill Ridge, Wise County CAD did not have any city taxes listed on our closing statements. None of us. And so it goes to follow that there's no city taxes for us to pay. That's what we were all led to believe. I'll just keep this super short and sweet. Please do the right thing. I love what Don said about let's try to find some kind of compromise or something if we do find that the annexation was legal, which I'm having trouble believing, but just please do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. One more time. Anyone else for citizens communication? So I'm gonna make sure, give everybody their, because this is it. The floor will not be open after this. All right, then hearing none, citizen communication is closed. All right, Mr. Williford.
Ma'am, do you want me to stay on this or move on?
No, I guess we can move on. Let's see, we have next is the consent agenda. Yes, so on the consent agenda, we have the approval of the minutes from our August 25th regular council meeting and our September 15th special meeting. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, got a motion, is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor of approving the consent agenda? Passes unanimously. All right. Next up, we have the deliberation agenda.
Mayor and council, the only deliberation item that we have on the agenda tonight is the deliberation to vote to approve or deny the rezoning of properties known as Windmill Ridge Estates.
All right, this is something that we've had a couple of months to do over. The annexation is not what is on the agenda. This is the zoning of this property. It is our legal team's opinion that the annexation is valid. There's actually validation articles in the Texas Local Government Code that says if it is not challenged within a certain amount of time, then even missteps or mistakes in certain procedural errors do not invalidate the annexation. So at this time, the annexation is as far as we are concerned, is valid. So this is simply the rezoning that is to be voted on. So, what council would y'all like to do at this time?
What causes taxes to be charged on these homes? The annexation or the rezoning?
Annexation, the annexation. The zoning does not. It's
And
the annexation.
We're voting on the rezoning of the area.
Yes, because the property was ag, and so it was not rezoned as residential, and so this basically rezones it so it fits within our zoning ordinance as it is being built out as residential.
The annexation has already taken place according to this here.
Yes,
Is that the August 5th date of 21?
the annexation was voted on, I believe, August of 2020. Then you go through a series of plat submittals and reviews. The developer decided to break it up into 2 phases, which is why there are 2 maps. Those maps are plats that were filed with the county with the city seal and the mayor's signatures. He broke it up into 2 sections, a phase 1 and a phase 2. So as phase 1 was worked out and through the process with the city and the city engineers and approved by council, it was then filed. And then when he got ready and did phase 2, that was worked through the process and approved through the council and filed as well. The service agreement, there is a service agreement and there is a development agreement. Service agreements are required for annexation, and that outlines how city services are to be provided to the properties that are annexed. That service agreement was provided and agreed and approved with the annexation. Development agreements go with the plats, as the plats are worked out and through the process. So those are 2 different agreements for 2 different purposes.
It's not correct. It's not correct.
So,
It's not to make them Walgreens.
So when was it annexed?
October of 2020,
All of it?
yes.
Both plats together?
The owner of the property, it was all one, the owner of the property is the one who came to the council and asked to be annexed. Again, the annexation is not what's on the agenda, it's the zoning.
Yes, I understand that.
So,
Irregardless of what's on the agenda, there's still a problem here, okay?
well, that's,
I don't know that I
What would you like
totally
to
wrap
do?
my mind around everything. I'd like to settle it. I mean, we haven't collected taxes in 5 years. It's gonna break us to wait another month or 2.
well, I need,
Yes or no?
a motion. It is up to y'all what you would like to continue to do.
I personally would like to table it and visit with these people and see if we can come to some suitable solution. I mean, so far all I've heard is the problem. I haven't heard anybody talk about the solution.
Could we
And no offense, that includes Windmill Ridge.
Okay,
Could we have a town hall about this or something where we could have an open discussion, bring in the developer, bring in, the builders, and maybe even bring somebody in from the county, so we can have a roundtable discussion about this? Is that something that, I don't even know if that would be possible.
we can certainly look into it.
That would be the best thing, because what I'm hearing is that, first off, this isn't annexation here.
No,
This is just
zoning.
saying, let's say, in the meantime, it's properly zoned. Because you can't really build a house on agricultural property.
Well, they already did. They
I
got
know.
50 of them out there.
I know.
I mean, rezoning, it doesn't change the annexation. We can continue to work with, around the
So,
annexation.
Are you saying since it's been annexed, they're gonna get taxed anyway?
With the certified rules starting in 2026.
And when would that be? October of 2026?
So the county certifies their rules in July and then updates everybody and then how it,
I still
Yeah.
think we need to sit down with these folks and see if we can
so
get some.
again, the zoning and the annexation are 2 different
I
things.
understand
We can
that.
still have conversations about annexation outside of zoning.
I mean, what are the repercussions if it stays agricultural?
They're not in compliance with our zoning ordinance.
Okay. And let's say, we have 2 possible outcomes. One of them is that, the courts decide that it wasn't annexed properly and they're de-annexed. That's
In which
not
case,
just,
the zoning wouldn't matter at
the
that
zoning
point.
doesn't matter, but what is the process to de-annex? Because there is infrastructure in the ground. There is now a boundary there that our officer can't pass because we're not paying to police it. I mean, there's a lot of things that I can't think of that would then be involved in this. And I've heard all of the stuff, all the arguments from both sides. You know, I'm hearing our legal saying it's been done right, and then I'm hearing from them doing their research that's saying it's not. But what is the process? And of course, I'd like to have everybody together to say to the builders, why did you go to the city if it wasn't in the city for the permitting? Why did you go to the city if you wanted to annex us? Or wanted us to annex you? And then also get somebody from the county that is a high enough position for them to say, okay, this happened, we never got this letter, but did you, or did it just not make it from this office to this office? Because the county knew about this. I mean, they had things on file there that indicated this happening, and there was a breakdown somewhere, and I'd like to, if we could, get as many
Why
people.
would a builder come to a city for a permit? Why didn't he go to the county if it's county property rather than the city? And I'm concerned, why would a builder tell them they're in the county when he's getting permits from the city? Or the real estate agent, or who knows who?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm not saying
So-
anything was untoward, but, I mean, being able to sell a house for $100 less a month is a pretty big deal.
I don't think
Don't
that's
any
enough.
questions
I'm just-
tonight?
Yeah, I'm
I
just,
still,
Well,
think-
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we table this thing, because there is no benefit really that I can see at this point for any of us. We're
So
just gonna
you-
make a bunch of people mad, you know?
yeah,
And I mean, we
Unfortunately,
need to sit down and see-
sometimes cleaning up past mistakes makes people mad.
I know,
And that's
understand.
unfortunate,
And-
but
and
it's,
people spend their time
fact
and
of-
money based on how they set their priorities, okay?
so there's a
So-
motion to table
Yes.
this vote. Once again, is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? And motion passed unanimously. Okay, we will get with legal and see if we can, schedule something along those lines of getting all the parties together.
We can figure that out.
Yeah, okay, so now we're going on to our next executive session. At this time, it is 7:23 PM. We will adjourn into executive session under Local Government Code, Section 551074, Personnel Matters for the mayoral performance discussion. What did I just say? 7:23. All right, and Alicia, you paused the recording.